All right, guys, we are back. I'm sorry, I lost the feed, and now we are back. I'm not sure if we're back on the radio yet, but I'm going to continue on. And Mike at the radio station, if he's listening, he can connect us in progress. So, getting back to what I was talking about before I. He told me we're going to be back, and well, stand by, guys. He put in another commercial. Okay, here we go. 12 seconds. We're going to be back in seconds. Stand by. All right, we are back. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Okay, so back where I left off, if you're on hold, hang in there. So Barry Weiss is this woman that they've brought over to CBS to try to save CBS News. I've heard her described as a conservative. I've heard her described as a moderate, centrist, leftist. I don't know. And I'm not really interested in the mainstream media coming back, because the mainstream media, so I don't want CBS to be back. You know, the mainstream media is a poison in our society that have done nothing but cause all of us problems. And but she dropped something. She was speaking to a group. This is Barry Weiss, the woman that they've made the new head of CBS News. She dropped something here that I wanted to share with you guys. Here we go.
All of us see the moment that we're in. And all of us see that the choices that it feels like we have sometimes, which is Hassan Piker and Tucker Carlson, or Nick Fuentes and, Andrew Tate, the kind of people that are rising in the podcast charts, those don't actually represent our values. And I don't think that they represent the values and the worldview of the vast majority of Americans. And so this is an opportunity to speak for the 75%, for the people that are on the center left and the center right that still believe in equality of opportunity, that still believe.
Okay, so I need to go to her equality of the right and all this stuff. But she was talking about these people in the new media that have been branded the leaders of this fake turn in the MAGA world against President Trump, where people are fed up with Trump because he's not American. And I showed you that poll at the beginning of the show where Trump is at 87% approval among Republicans, so that this idea that MAGA's turned on Trump is just a lie. It's just not true. And, she listed some liberals and conservatives, but she mentioned Nick Fuentes and Tucker, and then Andrew Tate and Hassan Piker, who's a liberal leftist Islamic lunatic, who's the nephew of that Chint Uyghur character. And the new media, as great as it is, these are people that are pushed upon us. See, back in the days of Rush Limbaugh, as an example, right? Rush Limbaugh was number one by far. And that's nothing that could be pushed onto people. What I mean by that is people either listened or they didn't. And if they didn't listen and support his sponsors, he wouldn't be out there. This is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida because we have listeners and we have advertisers and you guys support our advertisers. I mentioned last week my podcast, the Brian Craig Show podcast, is ranked 150th in the United States. And I know a lot of people are saying, who cares, 150th? What does that mean, right? 150th. Well, there's 10 million podcasts just on Apple Podcast and Spotify alone. And out of the 10 million, I'm 150. Which is a big, especially when I don't have any corporate backing promoting my podcast. So what I've been telling you guys is that we were woken up about the fake news legacy media by President Trump. That is very, very true. However, the new media is now being manipulated, and things are being pushed upon us that are not really popular, that people don't really want to consume, but it's forced upon you on your online feeds, and people are being given platforms and prestige and clout that they have not earned or deserved. And Bari Weiss, who I don't trust her. I don't know enough about her to trust or distrust her, but she uses words that don't sound like conservative words to me. Equity and inclusion. I don't know. It sounds like a liberal. But she was talking about how Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson don't represent us in the conservative. And I agree with that. And something has come out about Tucker that I wanted to share with you. And this is pretty troubling. And by the way, this is not the big thing that I found out this morning that MAGA needs to have their eye on. That's something else. I want to pull this story up because it puts Tucker Carlson in his proper perspective. And I think it's important for people to hear this story, okay? This is in Mediaite, which is left-wing, but they have some text messages of Tucker Carlson. Okay, and there's a lawsuit going on, and in this lawsuit that involves Fox News, some of Tucker's text messages have become public. Okay, this is after January 6th. This text message exchange with Tucker. Listen to this. An unidentified individual told Tucker Carlson on November 9th, 2020, that Trump should concede the election. Okay? Carlson replied to this person, "Oh, I'm fully aware," and referred to Trump as a total piece of S. Tucker Carlson referred to President Trump as a piece of S. And of course, you know what that is. It's one of those words I can't use on the radio. He said, this is Tucker in the text, and this has been entered into the court record. So this is part of the court record. So this is definitely a text message from Tucker. "Oh, I'm fully aware," and referred to Trump as a total piece of S, and then said, "We can't control him, obviously. Got to do the responsible thing regardless of how he behaves." He called President Trump a POS. What the heck? And that was after January, after the Capitol incident. What the heck? So why are we paying so much attention to Tucker when he referred to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, as a POS? That's a terrible thing to say. That's a hateful description. And that's how he talks in private about President Trump. He never thought that would be public. But it is now because it was in the court record. I posted this article on Mediaite. So I'd like to ask your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on Tucker Carlson referring to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, as a piece of S? And you can figure out what the S is. I think you've all figured it out. No, it's not piece of sale. It's another S word. POS. Can you trust him? Now, there are a lot of liberals that'll say, yeah, Tucker's right, but those are liberals and never Trumpers. I'm talking about MAGA people. So why are we putting Tucker, who called President Trump that, at a time when Donald Trump needed support, and everybody knew what was going on at the time, why are we putting Tucker on a pedestal? Because he's being fed to us by these news feeds and everything online that are telling us that he's MAGA, this person's MAGA. You need to listen to this person. I can't trust anything Tucker Carlson says. Having that knowledge, that is entered in the court record in this Fox News lawsuit. That is a text message that he sent. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. I'd like to hear your thoughts on all of this. Our number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. I know a lot of you have been on hold. I got a lot to cover. I haven't even gotten to 2% of my show prep. I got a lot of things to get to. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. Are you or someone you know suffering from neuropathy? Well, you don't have to. Your doctor, even your neurologist, like they told Steve Kane, will tell you there's no treatment for neuropathy. Go home and suffer. Well, that's not true. There is a treatment for neuropathy, and they have it at Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. And not only do they have a treatment for neuropathy that works, it's a treatment that lasts. President Trump, I'm President Trump. I'm reading an article at the same time. Steve Kane had his neuropathy treatment, I guess 3.5 years ago next month. It'll be 3.5 years ago in December. They rid him of his neuropathy, and it is not returned. 3.5 years later. So Lighthouse Medical in Pompano has a treatment for neuropathy that works and a treatment that lasts. They can help you no matter where you're located, by the way, in the United States or Canada. If you can't make it in, that's okay. They can help you remotely. Give them a call. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. Yeah, sorry, guys. I lost my feed and connection to the radio station. I had to start a new feed on YouTube, so I'm getting everything set up still. But if you're on hold, stand by. Okay, it looks like I got everything going now. Yeah, I lost the feed. The internet went out, and it knocked out my phones and everything. Okay, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, we'll be back in just over 2 minutes, guys. So if you're on hold, stand by. I will go to the phones when we get back. Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my 2 daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my 2 daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my 2 daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my 2 daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, we'll be back in about 40 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. I did restart the main stream, guys, if you're watching. Just go to the channel, and it's there. Yeah, the whole I lost the whole internet went out, so I lost my phone lines and everything. But we're back now. We'll be back live in 20 seconds. We're in break on the radio, and then after the top, I'm going to get into this new thing that no one's talked about yet, and I don't think people even know about it. But I'm going to get into it after the top. But your thoughts on Tucker, I'd really like to hear. All right, stand by. We are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is 888-465-2631. Those of you asking about Thanksgiving, I've not decided what we're doing for Thanksgiving yet, Stephen. So I don't know what we're doing for Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody's telling me to take the day off, take a day or two off. I could use it, but President Trump doesn't take any days off, so I kind of feel guilty of me taking a day off. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Man, I can't believe we lose Marjorie Taylor Greene and now Tucker Carlson, another guy. First of all, I never really trusted Tucker Carlson. I always felt that he was a liberal trying to be conservative, but I guess I was right, man, because this guy, to say something like that about President Trump is really
it's bad.
Unbelievable.
It's bad. People get mad, but that's not that's hate. When you call someone a piece of S, that's a real that's hate. That's not just you get mad at somebody. I stubbed my toe and I blurted out the F word or something. That's hate.
That Tucker Carlson always hit me as a guy that thinks he's 100% right, and anybody who goes against what he thinks in any way is POS.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a weird dude, and I won't be listening to him ever again. I'm done with him.
Well, you just have to be on alert. I mean, and he's done a lot of damage with this. He's elevated Nick Fuentes to national prominence.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know what's wrong with these people. An 87% approval rating, that's the CNN approval, right?
Yeah.
Because I would say it's probably a lot higher than 87.
Well, it was 87% among Republicans. So, but whatever. That's amazing. And that's what it was 6 months ago.
Yep, I don't know anybody that I know that is a Republican that voted for Trump that has anything to say but 100% approval. So
exactly.
So it's a lot higher, and I think the last thing I'd like to say is these damn judges, man. Another one. Am I wrong? It just seems to be that the liberal judges are the only ones who don't follow the law the way they're supposed to do it. Releasing these people, these two criminals, unbelievable.
Well, the thing with Comey, Comey is a little sketchy because the statute of limitations is now up, and they brought those charges in just before they were up. So if they appeal it and go back, they're going to try to argue the statute of limitations are up. But what they're trying to do is they tell themselves, well, Trump, this is his last term. They're trying to drag everything out to run out the clock on Trump.
Yep, 100%. They do anything they can.
But I gotta tell you, I've been talking about this all year. I personally find Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino useless. Everybody that Trump has working for him is doing their job beyond expectations, except those three.
It's sad. I was hoping big things were going to happen, but I don't know why, but something's wrong. I mean, Bongino must be. I always felt there's another guy I thought was.
I still stick with my theory on Bongino. When Bongino was announced, I thought he was going to be. I knew Kash would be at FBI headquarters in D.C., and I figured Bongino would be out in the field kicking doors in like Tom Homan does, and he doesn't.
Yeah,
and I've thought with Dan. I talked about this months ago after that Fox Bartiromo interview. That obviously he was Secret Service on Obama's detail. He was a New York cop for I don't know how long, but I think he's hyped up his resume a little bit. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I don't think Bongino knows how to lead investigations and do stuff. I just don't. And being in the Secret Service presidential detail, it didn't seem all that elite in Butler, you know. So I think he's padded his resume over the years very well with his presentation.
He certainly seems like he doesn't want to do much. He just wants to sit back and with a title and that typical government worker that they take the pay and that's it. I'm saying he's probably sorry he didn't he quit his podcast.
Well, you know what he's lost many millions of dollars, and that's why he and his wife are having problems. The guy that they brought in, I forgot his name now. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he sucks. They should have replaced him with me, you know. But then the show would be super hot and number one. But you know, when Bongino eventually returns to his podcast, without any major arrest and twiddling his thumbs in an office all day for however long he has this job, what will the audience's reaction be to his return?
Certainly hurt my feelings about him. I always thought that the guy, like you said, the guy was going to be a tough guy once we get him, and it turns out he's just too relaxed. He's not doing what he should be doing.
Well, and then I saw over the weekend a story about Kash Patel. You know, Kash Patel's girlfriend, the pretty country singer, she's in her 20s. She's in her 20s, and he's around 50 or so. How old's Kash Patel? He's a lot older than her. He's at least 20 years older than her. And she's gotten a lot of harassment from these anti-Semites because she's Jewish. And there was a story last week that he put a special elite FBI protective detail on her. And I read a story over the weekend that she was performing somewhere, and the detail, this special forces detail that he has, a SWAT team, whatever it is from the FBI, they left her. And he went ballistic. From what the story said. Now, I think Kash Patel's too worried about his girlfriend. I think that's his primary focus is his girlfriend, you know? And I think he should be out. I think Kash should be out. Unless they do some bigger... But they blew this thing with Comey. They blew this thing with Letitia James. These are the two big ones. Those three, they're clowns.
Yeah, we need Tom Holman to take over or somebody like that, because that's what we need. Somebody really in a clean house and not take no nonsense. But instead, we got these two. I'm wondering if it's coming from Pam Bondi to tell everybody to calm down.
I don't know about Pam Bondi. You know, they say, well, she was Attorney General for 8 years in Florida. I know that, but I don't remember anything that she did. You know, like, I'll give you an example. The new Attorney General we have, whose name I don't even know, it was his idea to do Alligator Alcatraz. DeSantis takes credit for it, but it was the Attorney General that we have right now, right? So, you know, this guy's good. I cannot remember a single thing that she did as Attorney General. Do you?
Me either.
And we're Florida guys.
She did exactly like she does now. She was doing a lot of talking and not a lot of...
Well, I've told people this many times. Pam Bondi, who's good looking, and she's 60 years old. I mean, she looks good for 60. She's much better looking in person than she is on television. I tell this to people a lot. I know it sounds weird, but it is. She's a lot better looking in person than she is on television. I don't know what it is, but she is. Maybe she's gotten by on being hot.
I don't know.
And she did come up through the bushes.
Yeah, that's another one. But I mean, it's
like, remember when she showed up here on the Steve Kane Show unannounced, and somebody sent her over to our studio? We didn't know who she was. The person that did that was somebody that was, at least at the time, was very tight with Jeb. So that she came up through the bushes. All right, listen, I'm out of time, Doug. We're coming up on the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631. We'll be back after this. All right, we're in break for the top of the hour. I got a couple more things I want to cover, and then I'm going to get into this new thing that I'm really pissed about. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm debating about what I'm going to do Thursday and Friday. I used to, before the cruise, Before we did the cruise, I used to make Thanksgiving weekend my yearly vacation. I'd leave when we got off the air, and my wife and daughter and I, when my daughter was young, we'd go out of town and go on vacation. That'd be like my yearly vacation. I turn it into a 5-day because I'd get off the air at 9. But I've been working Thanksgiving and the day after for years, but I'm pretty exhausted right now. I really could use the time off. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking though. Everyone's telling me to take off. Steve's not gonna come on Thursday, he told me, so he's taking off. But if I take off Thursday, the day you really want off is the day after, right? The day after Thanksgiving is the day that you really want off, so you can recover from all that food. Would you rather have off Thanksgiving or the day after? Let's see. We've got a couple minutes till we're back. If you're new, we're in break on the radio. Make sure you subscribe if you are new.
Are you looking for a gift that lasts a lifetime? One that's personal, powerful, and proudly American-made. At Back 40 Metalworks on Etsy, that's Works, W-O-R-X. They turn ideas into steel. Since 2010, Back 40 Metalworks has been crafting over 200 unique metal art designs, from wildlife and rustic decor to modern wall pieces and custom creations. With more than 30 years of experience working with metal, they know how to shape your vision into something extraordinary. Need a personalized welcome sign for your home? A company logo? A one-of-a-kind Christmas gift? Something for mom or dad on their day? Or any other day of the year? Every piece at Back 40 Metalworks is built to last, indoors or out, and every design tells a story, your story, in steel. Visit the shop online right now, back40metalworks.etsy.com. That's W-O-R-X, and view the inventory. You will be impressed. Back40metalworks.etsy.com. They turn ideas into steel. This holiday season, let's make the season brighter together. Little Light is a family resource center dedicated to strengthening, nourishing, and empowering families, sparking a little light for a bright future. They're providing meals for families in Santa Ana, California, filled with all the holiday favorites that bring people together. Your one-time $35 donation helps make it all possible. But don't wait. Go to littlelightfrc.org and help share the joy, the love, and the light this holiday season. That's littlelightfrc.org. Make sure to share the link on all of your social media so your friends can help too. littlelightfrc.org.
All right, stand by, guys, stand by. We'll be back in about 25 seconds. Melissa, thank you, by the way. Just saw that. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Okay, we got so much to cover today, and there's one big story I haven't even gotten to yet. Well, I was proven right the other day about something I said. I told you guys last week, and people were questioning it, and then we got a retired JAG lawyer who called in and said I was right, that Senator Kelly, Mark Kelly, because he is a retired U.S. naval captain who's receiving a naval pension, is still accountable to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And sure enough, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, has said as much. And they're actually not only investigating him, they're considering recalling him to active duty and court-martialing him for trying to cause this uprising in the military. Well, this is amazing. And he's very worried, I can tell. He knows he went too far because he's overcompensating. Senator Kelly, he put up immediately a photograph of his medals and his uniform with his captain stripes and his dress whites on social. I saw a picture of him on an aircraft carrier next to a fighter jet. And then he went on last night with Rachel Maddow. Listen to this. He's in a panic.
I hear you when you say that it is absurd and that it is almost comical, but also that it is intended to be intimidating. I do just have to ask you at a human level, Senator, you and your family have dealt with more than your fair share of sacrifice for this country and trial and tribulation. I just have to ask, even though I hear you when you say you're not intimidated, this must be a source of stress.
Oh, he's panicked.
For you and your family. I just have to ask the kind of impact that it's having on you and your loved ones.
Rachel, I've had a missile blow up next to my airplane. I've been shot down, nearly shot down multiple times. I've flown a rocket ship into space 4 times, built by the lowest bidder. And
my hero.
My wife, Gabby Giffords, meeting with her constituents, shot in the head, 6 people killed around her. A horrific thing. She spent 6 months in the hospital. We know what political violence is, and we know what causes it, too.
I think he's forgotten that President Trump was shot and one of the supporters was killed in the stands behind him.
The statements that Donald Trump made is insightful, incites others. He's got millions of supporters. People listen to what he says.
That's right, we do.
More so than anybody else in the country.
That's right.
And he should be careful with his words. But I'm not going to be silenced here. Is it stressful? I've been stressed by, things more important than Donald Trump trying to intimidate me into shutting my mouth and not doing my job. He didn't like what I said. I'm going to show up for work every day, support the Constitution, do my job, hold this administration accountable, hold this president accountable when he is out of line. That's the responsibility of every U.S. Senator and every member of Congress. He's not going to silence us.
Okay, so Senator Kelly, I believe, is in a hysterical panic attack. He's spending too much time telling you what a hero he is. Well, everyone is a hero until they're not, right? Everybody obeys the law until they don't. And I don't care how many ribbons or how many missions he's flown. He was flying a mission for somebody else when he made that tape and he screwed up. And I was glad. Another thing I was right with my analysis on, because they were talking about this on the 5 yesterday, Jesse Waters, this was a CIA op, this video. And I'm glad Jesse Waters picked up on what I shared last week when it dropped. It was a CIA op. This is what they do in other countries to try to get the military to rise up against a leader. They tried it here. And they're not even hiding it. The first congresswoman in the video is a CIA person. And then they have that other Congress lady whose husband was the national security advisor for Biden during the Otto Penn administration. They're not even hiding that it's a deep state CIA op. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Does Kelly seem scared to you? He does to me. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Senator Kelly is a piece of garbage.
Yes.
Total garbage. I didn't hear one peep out of this creep. And he is a creep. When Biden was letting in 20 million people, which was against the law,
yeah,
and invasion on our country, and especially him from that state that he's in, he never opened up his mouth. They were coming in Arizona by groves, and he shut up.
That's right.
Trump does something. If Trump does something, oh my God, such a phony. They're all phonies.
Yeah.
They are total phonies.
No doubt.
They're all actors. I believe that this guy should be up in front of the Academy Award and be given an Academy Award for that performance. This crap.
Yeah.
And that butchy-looking one that's married, that was CIA that started this whole thing. This pompous looking down on every American. I can't stand when Slotkin or whatever her name is. When I see this woman, I say to myself, You couldn't make it in the real world.
But Richie, you're right. You're right. Oh my gosh, yeah, she has a smirk on her face. She is in love with it.
Oh,
Kelly,
God.
though, Kelly seems scared. He seems like he knows he's screwed up. He's doing too much overcompensating, showing up, going through his. Listen, I know a lot of people that are combat veterans, they never brag about it like this guy. I've never heard somebody brag about their heroism like this guy. Have you?
Brian. I could have told everybody that I was infantry and went into the bush every night in the DMZ. I was a cook back in the base camp. You know, there's certain things you respect the ones that did it. I mean, because he went up in a rocket ship, thank God he was an astronaut, but he made a lot of money for doing it, and he became a United States Senator for doing well. But his wife getting shot helped him get elected. But to think that this guy's state was invaded, that Texas and California, the big invasion states, and he shut up for 4 years.
Yeah.
And now he's opened up his mouth.
Yeah.
President Trump.
I mean, how many? He's from Arizona, right? How many people in his state have been killed by the illegals invaded us through the Obama and Biden administrations?
Yeah, and how much money has it cost his state? How much money has it cost his state to feed these people, to close these people, to do everything? This guy is such a phony.
Yeah.
You know, it really gets to me. All of them. It gets to me to see this. I don't think he's scared though, because I don't think anything's going to happen to him.
Oh no. I'm not saying anything's going to happen to him. I mean, look what happened to Comey.
No.
But he's worried. But it's an unknown at this point, right? It's an unknown.
Yeah, he's going to be looked down upon by people like me.
Do you think that Pete Hegseth? Do you think Pete Hegseth is going to recall him to active duty and investigate him?
No, but he's got a little fear in him. But he's got to shut up. He's a traitor. He's a traitor. What he did was the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, this is the worst thing you could do. To have it. First of all, President Trump shouldn't tell a soldier what to do, how to take orders. And you never hear him saying, if you have to listen to me. No, you have to listen to your commanding officers.
That's right.
And he was out of line. He was out of line, so were the rest of them. They have no business trying to influence a soldier.
That's right.
I mean, it's really
it's awful. All right, Richie, I got to run, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, there's a theme with a lot of the messages I'm sharing with you these days, and that's of course is Christmas. And I'm going to talk about Life Imaging FLA. This is a great holiday Christmas gift, the gift of peace of mind, or maybe even the gift of saving a loved one's life. You know, there are so many people that will not go to the doctor because they don't want to know. And you have people in your family that you're worried about. Let me tell you, my family, all of them, my wife, my daughter, my mother, my in-laws have been worried about me for years. I've told you guys, my cholesterol has been through the roof since I was in my 20s. And every doctor I've ever had told me that if I didn't do something about it, I was going to have a heart attack and die in my 50s. And I'm in my 50s. And my wife and daughter, my mother, my in-laws have been so worried about this over the years. And I went over to Life Imaging FLA and had the heart scan and the cancer scan, and I have no cancer, no plaque buildup, and no blockage. That's great. I got the peace of mind. But you know, people go in there every day and find out they have 80% or more blockage and need surgery, and their lives are saved. So if you have someone in your family, they have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. If you have someone in your family who you're worried about, maybe they have a history of cancer in their family, maybe they have a brother or a dad that's had a heart attack, and you're concerned, pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements, and that's valued at $699. So from your cell phone, pick up your cell phone and hit pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250, say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds, and set up that appointment for your loved one, your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, your brother, whoever. Pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Stand by, guys.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hey there, it's Brian Craig. You've heard me tell you about how Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain with his laser away pain treatment. Shoulder injuries, arthritis, knee pain, all gone, and more. But don't just take my word for it. Monica called me live on the radio to tell me how Dr. Appleton rid her of pain.
Brian, my name is Monica. I'm from Boca. I'm calling because several weeks ago I had a lot of pain on my knees, and I went to see Dr. Appleton. He relieved me from my knee pains. I can walk. And this week, I went to see him. I had excruciating pain on my hand, and I had a treatment. And I just want to say out there to everyone, it works. It really works. I am pain-free from my hand. He's amazing. Friendly staff. He's wonderful. And I highly recommend him. And I thank you so much for the recommendation. I'm very grateful.
Call Dr. Appleton right now and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
All right, we will be back in less than a minute on the radio. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. Oh, man, I tell you. Don't worry. Yep, the number is pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. About 10 seconds, guys. Tomorrow, I'll be at the radio station. All right, guys, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Pete from Oakland Park.
Hey, Pete. What's up?
Well, this Mark Kelly, he puts me in the mind of Benedict Arnold because, Benedict Arnold, he was a great soldier. He won some very decisive battles during the Revolutionary War. You being a history buff, you know that, or a history major, But look, after all these years, every time you think of traitor, you think of Benedict Arnold.
That's right.
That's the way Mark Kelly's going to go down in history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The thing with Kelly, this is what happens. Okay, he's a liberal jerk. Don't get me wrong. He always has been. However, and he's been a political animal. Those things that he did. He's one of those guys that he's got a twin brother who's also an astronaut. And one of the, I don't know if it was him or his brother. They're identical twins, and it's been a number of years. One of them got the last shuttle flight mission. How did you get that? Out of all the astronauts? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, these are political animals. But
he's standing over trying to act like Chuck Yeager or something.
That's exactly right. And you know, I have known people personally who have done heroic things in war. They never talk about it. Never.
I know a lot of them because I'm I belong to American Legion, VFW. I was in Vietnam, and I know a lot of guys that went through hell, you know, and they never brag about it. Or my dad was the same way. He fought in World War II down in the Philippines. He fought in the Philippines under MacArthur, and he had 3 Bronze Stars. He had a Philippine Freedom Ribbon with a Bronze Star. He had a bunch of accommodations, but he never would talk about it.
Yeah, so Kelly, who's talking about all of his list of heroisms, and he did another, you know, he put a photograph of all of his ribbons and medals on his dress uniform on X yesterday. And I remember there was, when Milley was around causing trouble, when he was chairman of the Joint Chiefs, there was this side-by-side photograph of Milley in his dress uniform next to General Eisenhower. General Eisenhower just wore a couple of ribbons on his uniform, and Milley looked like a Soviet general with all the things he was wearing. You know, and these guys that go around with their medals and ribbons like Kelly did yesterday and go through their list of heroic acts, that's not a hero. That's a psycho.
No, that's just I don't know what happens to them. You know, you think when they go in the service. I mean, when I got discharged from the service, it didn't mean nothing to me. I still follow my oath that I swore to when I first went in. Mm-hmm. And I'm 70 years old now. You know,
well, you know, Mark Kelly is one of those guys that, and I've known people like this. Every job they have is a stepping stone to the next better job. These politicians. Yep. And he's pretty high up there as senator, but maybe he wants to be vice president. And these guys are so delusional. Maybe he thinks he could be president, you know. But that's all they do. It's just everything he's done has just been a stepping stone to the next higher position. And not only does I have never seen a veteran, when they're being pressed, put a photograph of their medals and ribbons out there like he did yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know. But President Trump is doing a great job turning this country back around, and I hope it doesn't go back to the Kellys and the Bidens and the.
God help us.
I hope it doesn't turn back into that again, because that was frightening. It really
sure was. Sure was. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. You make some good points. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? This is Mark, calling from California.
Mark in California. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I just had a question for you. What do you see as wrong with what Kelly did?
Be more specific. What are you talking about?
Well, you're saying that he's traitorous. You're making all these.
Oh, you're talking about the video? Okay. Yeah. What
what's
Kelly?
What's wrong with that? Because it clearly states anybody that holds an office, anybody that goes into the military, is only responsible and. Mm-hmm. They're only responsible to follow the Constitution.
Well, okay. Now I'm going to answer your question. And see, you don't understand because English is not your first language.
Oh, are you trying to talk shit now?
Okay, there we go. Okay. So I had to let him go, but because English is not that person's first language, they don't understand the context or the implication of what he said. Okay, and what he was saying. If you're not a native English speaker of American Standard English, you don't understand what they were implying. What they were implying and who they were talking to, they weren't doing some law briefing. They were talking to soldiers, National Guardsmen, and reservists who may be sent into an American city to stop crime, and they wanted them, and what they were implying is that that's illegal, and you are duty-bound not to follow those orders because they're illegal. So they were attempting, Kelly and the others were attempting, through their statements, to cause an uprising inside the military of those that are being sent to American cities. And, you know, those forces, because they're not regular Army, they're National Guard units from these different blue states, they're probably liberals because they're from blue states. At least a huge chunk of them are. So they believe that crap anyway. So they're telling them that if you're sent into Seattle or Chicago, that's an illegal order, and you're to stand up against that and not follow it. And because the guy that I was just talking to, that I had to let go, because English is not his first language, he doesn't understand what they were implying in the context of what they were saying. He understands the words, but he doesn't understand what they were implying with the way they said it and what they did. All right? Now, another great Christmas gift is this incredible offer from Sloman's Home Security. Listen to this. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. Just give them a call, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. $24.95 a month for 5 years. This makes a great gift for your adult children who don't live in the home with you, for grandma, for grandpa, for your parents, if you're an adult, or for yourself and your family. This is just a great gift. And you can get this for people outside your house. And no matter where you're listening, you could take advantage of this. A free home security system and professional installation, absolutely free. You heard me. Your Sloman's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access so you can check in no matter where you're located. Give them a call. Great deal. Great Christmas gift. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. Oh, my goodness. You guys get what I'm saying, though, about the context. Context is everything, isn't it, at these with these types of things? Absolutely it is. Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my 2 daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my 2 daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my 2 daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my 2 daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian. I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires. And when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that, man. There's everything everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
All right, we're still in break on the radio, but I'm going to take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jay, calling from, well, I'm out of Arizona, but I'm on the road in Los Angeles.
What's up, Los Angeles?
Say again?
What's up? You called me. What's on your mind?
Just wanted to question about this whole Mark Kelly thing. While you can argue or debate whether you like what he said, not like what he said, I'm sure you don't. The idea that it's illegal, he said illegal orders, not any orders. And I believe there's a law that says that you can't recall a sitting congressman or senator.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that.
While they're, I have.
Well, Pete Hegseth disagrees with that. He's the Secretary of War. See, the only military action that's being debated right now is using the military in American cities. So what they were doing was implying that those are illegal orders and those soldiers should not obey them. That's sedition.
Let's say.
Hold on 1 second. We're in break on the radio. We're coming back in about 25 or 30 seconds. I'm going to continue with you after the break. So hang in there, and
absolutely.
We'll. I got to rejoin and reintroduce ourselves. What's your first name again?
Jay.
Jay from California. Okay, hold on. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I got Jay from California on the line. We were talking during the break. You know, we were talking about Senator Kelly. This is sedition what these senators did. Total CIA op. They had 2 intelligence officers in the video that are in Congress. And the only military action that's being debated in this country right now is the president sending soldiers, the National Guard, into U.S. cities to stop crime. So what they were doing in that video was telling those soldiers those orders are illegal and not to obey them. All right, caller? So what are your thoughts?
I believe it was U.S. Code 973.
Okay, whatever.
Those are what we were talking about. And that is about recalling active Congress and senators to duty. And it can't be done while they're currently serving. So it would have to be done after Mark Kelly?
It may be. It could also. I don't know. This is the first I've heard of this, and I know that Pete Hegseth, the War Secretary, is looking into it. It may be while they're in session. It might be while they're in session, and they're not going to be in session because we're going to be in a holiday period. But whether or not that's the rule doesn't mean that he didn't do it, right?
Well, the question is it wrong? Is it a matter of opinion? Or my opinion is he was exercising his free speech by saying if you were in the military and you were given,
you don't have free speech in the service. He is. But you
also have the responsibility to not follow illegal orders, which is specifically what he said. He didn't say all orders.
He was a couple of things. First of all, in the military, you don't have freedom of speech. Okay, you give up that right when you join the service. And because he receives a retirement pension from the Navy, he is still beholden to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So he does not have free speech like a American who's not retired or in the service would have.
So you're saying that since he retired, he can't he's not enlisted currently. You're saying he can't exercise
He is
freedom?
he still has to abide by the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It's the law. It's been widely reported.
No, that's not true.
It is true. It is true. In fact, I had a guy on the program on Friday who was a JAG lawyer in the Navy, and he backed it up. And Pete Hegseth through the War Department said so yesterday, and it's being widely reported. If you're receiving, if you are retired and receiving a pension from the military, you are still have to abide by the Uniform Code of Military Justice. That doesn't mean some guy that did enlisted once or twice is always accountable, but because he receives that pension from the Navy, he still is beholden to it. That's the law.
That would be like saying that if you were in the military, let's say a guy who was in Vietnam, he's running as a Democrat for office. Mm-hmm. He couldn't disagree with Donald Trump or Pete Hegseth.
If he is receiving a pension from the military, no.
That literally doesn't make any sense. I'm not.
Well, that's the law. Appreciate the call. That is the law. You're on the air. What's your name? Oh, no. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. All right, you didn't make it. Now, the rest of you want to hold standby. Now, there's another issue that I've wanted to get to all morning that if you're on hold, standby. I came across this morning. There is a guy, his name is James Fishback. He's running for Florida governor as a Republican, and he's going to be running against Byron Donalds. And I'm going to get into this. I never heard of this guy until this morning. This is very disturbing, this guy, and I'm going to get to it in a few minutes. This is part of the Bush effort to stop MAGA, okay? This guy running against Byron Donalds in the Florida gubernatorial primary. We're going to go to this in a few minutes. I'll take a couple more calls. If you're on hold, stand by. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. My name is Terry. I'm calling from Kentucky.
All right, Terry in Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Well, let me just set some of these yo-yos straight about this, the whole military illegal order, wham. I'm a 21-year veteran, retired in 2005. Number one, a part of what we took an oath for is pretty simple. It says that part of it, and I sort of preface it, says that we will defend the Constitution in all areas, in all lands, both foreign and domestic. Mm-hmm. So whether it's on foreign soil or whether it's on United States soil. My take on that is, if you're told by your superiors this is what you're going to do, I highly suggest these young soldiers believe that that's what they're going to do. Because if they don't, I promise you, they'll end up getting locked up in jail, probably in Leavenworth somewhere, and then their careers, their lives will be ruined forever by a bad conduct discharge in the military. So I would suggest that the lily livers or the left-wing soldiers we've got in there, and they're in there, that they do what they're told. They do what they're told, or their life will be done.
You know, this is another example of liberals calling us Nazis, okay? Because obviously, you know, the following orders comes from the Nuremberg trials. You know, all the generals said, well, I was just following orders when they told us to kill all those Jews. And there's no doubt in my mind that this CIA video that they put out, which is exactly what it is, was a message to the guardsmen being sent into American cities by the president. They want them to disobey the orders and refuse to do it. That's sedition.
Right. Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. And my honest, red-blooded American take on that is pretty simple. If our local government, if our state government can't protect the people in the cities from the illegals or whatever else is going on in there, the ignorance and the riots and the burning down, if they can't handle it themselves, then the government needs to handle it, and I'm for it 100%.
And they've been handling it. All right, appreciate the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, you'd probably let your daughter sleep over at the White House, huh, you fucking dumb shit.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. The people are upset this morning. People are upset. So I want to talk about this guy. You know, Byron Donalds is MAGA through and through, right? There's no questioning whether or not he's MAGA. He has the endorsement of President Trump. And not only does he have the endorsement of President Trump, his loyalty to President Trump and being MAGA is not even questionable because we've seen him in action. And I got up this morning, I'm doing my show prep, and there's a new Republican who I've never heard of who's running for governor as a Republican. He's going to run against Byron Donalds. And he called Byron Donalds a slave to donors and such, which is an unfortunate term to use when you're talking about a black man in America, but that's the least of the problems. He looks like the coach of the Miami Dolphins that wears those skinny pants that Don Shula would never let out on the field dressed like that. He looks like that guy. He's 30 years old, and I've never heard of him until this morning. He's a disruptor. This is part of the movement of the Bushes to take back control of the Republican Party after Trump's second term. And remember, the Republican establishment of Florida is run by Jeb. And this guy, his name is James Fishback. And I looked him up, and there's an article in the Tallahassee Democrat newspaper about him. He's 30 years old, okay? Which, by the way, that's too young to be governor, and he's never held elected office, and he's very wealthy. Let me go through this. This is in the Tallahassee Democrat. The Florida gubernatorial race just got a little more crowded. On Monday morning, November 24th, James Fishback announced his candidacy for the Republican nomination to replace Ron DeSantis. He's a 30-year-old investment. He's a 30-year-old from the investment and an investment firm CEO who has never held political office. He released a video on X ahead of his public announcement in Tallahassee to carry on DeSantis' legacy. He says Congressman Byron Donalds can't be our next governor because he won't fight for Florida like Ron DeSantis has. I will, he said. I'll fight to preserve Governor DeSantis' wins by keeping Florida free from DEI, radical transgenderism, Soros-backed prosecutors, child predators, voter fraud, and the millions of illegals that invaded our country on Kamala Harris's watch, Fishback said. Okay? This is part of the problem, all right? You know, when you've got a guy who's running for any office that you've never heard of before, he comes out of nowhere, he's very wealthy, he's young, and he's telling you everything you want to hear. If you're MAGA, that means watch out. The Madison resident joins the primary race against Byron Donalds, who has been endorsed by President Trump, by the way. And there's six other Republicans that are running in this primary. So Byron Donalds is not alone, but this guy is the new second runner behind Byron Donalds. DeSantis has not endorsed any of them. James Fishback, if Floridians outside Madison know him at all, it's because he's gained momentary fame as the person who suggested that Elon Musk and Donald Trump issue the $5,000 Doge refunds. He's the one that started that talk of it wasn't Trump that said it. It was this guy who said that Trump should give everybody $5,000 months ago. So look at the damage that's done for Trump, right? People think Trump said it. He's already done damage to Trump. James Fishback is a fourth-generation Floridian. He was born in Davie to a Colombian immigrant and tree trimmer. His father lost his business because of foreign workers who broke the law to come into this country and were paid less. His father later went on to become a bus driver, like Richie. He went to public schools here in Florida before attending Georgetown. He dropped out at 21 at Georgetown to start his own hedge fund. He worked 2.5 years at Greenlight Capital, left for his own company. He says he was a high school debate champion. He formed an anti-woke debate league for thousands of Florida students. It goes on about this. This guy, I don't know anything about him other than he came out of nowhere. He's saying all the right things and he's rich. Vote for Byron Donalds. This guy, maybe he's the greatest guy in the world, but I'm very suspect of this guy. There's going to be a lot of people that say everything MAGA want to hear all over the country in next year's elections for governors and state houses and congressmen and everything else. If you've never heard of them, don't vote for them if there's somebody else to vote for, right? That's why I'm always worried about Vivek Ramaswamy. We never heard of him, then all of a sudden he's everywhere. Just like Obama. So this guy, Fishback, run for county commission, be a mayor, be in the state legislature. Let's see who you are. Not going for the top job and we don't know anything about you. I don't trust this guy at all. President Trump has endorsed Byron Donalds. I support whoever President Trump tells me to support. Don't you? All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our last break of this hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
This is George Colony. Sorry I missed your call.
Oh, no, he's on the other line. I heard the beeping. I got to call him back.
George Colony.
Hey, George, it's Brian.
Somebody called me right at 7:45. I thought it was you when I started talking.
Oh, no. That's okay. I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. When I pick you up, we'll be live on the air.
Okay, good.
All right. Hold on. All right, guys. So those of you that, whoever called them, thanks. Appreciate it. Oh, boy. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to talk to George Colony when we get back, and then I'll go back to the phones, and Steve will be joining us at 8. Yeah, this guy that's running against Byron Donalds, we've never heard of him. He doesn't come from a connected family. He's very wealthy at age 30. And he's saying all the right things. Do you give me a yes or no on this? Would you trust this guy to be the governor? What do you guys think? Would you trust him to be the governor? I am very suspect of this guy. You see, Byron Donalds, we know what he's about. There's nothing to worry about with Byron Donalds. He's proven that he's MAGA. He's proven his loyalty. But this guy, never heard of him before? Let me know if you guys would trust him or not. Give me a yes or no. Over Byron Donalds, nope. I thought he was the coach of the Miami Dolphins when I first saw him. Like, what? Why would the Miami Dolphins coach be running? No, I do not trust this guy. There's something very wrong with that. I mean, we shouldn't have anybody in the primary against Byron, but we do. But this guy here, he's in every media outlet in the state. He's all over the place. They're really pushing him on us. I mean, he popped up in my feed this morning. Never heard of him. You Google his name, James Fishback. He comes up all over the place. So, people don't realize that this state, the Republican Party, is run by Jeb Bush. Okay, less than a minute and we'll be back. Okay, 40 seconds. We'll be back. That guy that called in, he's on hold again. The guy that with the accent that's, and I said, because of your accent, you don't understand context. He's been on hold for 8, almost 9 minutes. Clap. There. If he's watching, he can hear me talking. He's been on hold. Still on hold. Been on hold 9 minutes. Says third or fourth call since I hung up on him. All right, we are back. I'm Brian, and it's time to check in with our real estate guy, George Colony. George Colony, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Absolutely. You and I were talking yesterday, and I got a call on the air the other day from a listener. He's in his 40s, and he and his wife are renters. They've never owned a home, but they've dreamed of owning a home. And a lot of people today in the current real estate market think that it's impossible for them to go from renter to owner, but you can actually turn renters, maybe even lifelong renters, into homeowners. Can you talk a little bit about that, George Colony?
Sure. Thank you very much, Brian. Yeah, renting is forever been a question: should I rent or should I own? And what I've done is found a way for people to own their home for pretty much what they're paying in rent. The difference between renting and owning is, let's say I pay $3,000 a month in rent to a landlord, and basically my contract is I'll give you, landlord, $36,000, you pay your building, and at the end of the time that I rent, I end up with nothing. The problem is that $36,000 was paid with after-tax money. So it's a very expensive way to own a home. Turn it around, when you own a home, you can take a tax deduction for most of what you're paying every month. And I've got a way for you to own your home instead of renting, and it just makes common sense for you.
Yeah, and listen, I know a lot of people, rent's pretty high in Florida these days. When people tell me how much they pay in rent, I basically live free owning my home compared to what renters are paying these days. It's
that's
not
right. That's right. If you rent, obviously the money that you give is you're paying for someone else's home. If you own, is paying for your own home, and eventually you're going to have appreciation, and you're going to have your money back and a profit, and it's a way to build wealth. That's why all these tall buildings are going up, because they want you to come and rent from them so you can pay for that tall building and lose your money when it's all said and done, and also lose the tax deductibility of it.
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of renters think, I'll never be able to own a home. That's not the case. Call George Colony, and you have a way for them to own a home where they can save all those closing costs too, right?
I do. Actually, I've been at this thing for 62 years, Brian, and I've found several answers that normally the homeowner or the renter, they don't hear it. So I found that a lot of people have a trouble finding me. So what I found was, if you Google George Clooney, you're going to find my picture right next to his.
That's true.
I don't know how he did it.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's a way to find me. So give me a call. I'm glad to help you. And I think that it's worth 15 minutes of your time to figure out, can you do better than you've done in the past? That's it.
Yeah.
And if I can't help you, then we met. There's nothing wrong with meeting people.
That's right. So I'm going to give you George Colony's number. This number rings directly to George's cell phone. It's 954-801-7320. If you're a renter, or maybe someone in your family's a renter, and they want to own, call George Colony. He can make it happen in incredible ways, and you'll save boatloads of money, not just each and every month, but year after year. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, George Colony, we'll talk soon.
Make it a good day, Brian.
Absolutely. He's a good guy, guys. Give him a call. All right, so let me finish up. So we've got this guy, James Fishback, and I'm going to tell you right out the box, I never heard of him until this morning. And I thought when I first thing I do when I wake up, before I get out of bed, is I reach and grab my iPhone and I look at what's going on in the news on X, right? Before I even get out of bed. Any of you guys do that? And this guy is, stories about him running for governor, there's 7 people running already. So I think it's 8 with him. It's Byron Donalds plus 6, now him, it's 8. I haven't seen a single story. I don't know anyone else who's running other than Byron Donalds. And this guy is pushed in my feed. Now, and when I saw his picture, he looks just like that coach of the Miami Dolphins with the skinny pants. And I thought, is this the Miami Dolphins coach? Because I look, no, it's not. It's this other guy. And then I find out he's 30. He's not politically connected in his family, but he's rich at 30, maybe enough money to retire already, and he's running for governor. Sirens start going on. He may be the best guy in the world. He may be the best person to hold office in the world, but we don't know him. You know, Byron Donalds has been in Congress for years. He's been loyal to Trump through difficult times. There's no questioning the loyalty of Byron Donalds. I'll tell you, Ron DeSantis, he betrayed us, didn't he? He's doing great things as governor. And if he rids us of property taxes, I'll be happy. And he's gone back to doing good things as governor, but he betrayed us. And I told you guys about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, there was a story in Breitbart that's now been picked up in most news outlets that cover the news, that the Trump or the Bush family are making moves to make a comeback after Trump's second term is over. They're going to have candidates all over the country running for office. And this guy here, he needs to be mayor. He's from Davie originally. Become the Davie town mayor, all right? Or Broward County Commission or state legislature. And then we'll learn, maybe even the House. Then we'll learn about you and know if you're really the real deal. It's very dangerous to give some guy who tells us everything we want to hear that we've never heard of before and make him the governor of our state. I'm sorry. You know, this MAGA movement is going strong. I shared with you, Steve will be joining us after the top. I'm going to go over with him. The latest poll for Trump. Trump is the most popular president of the 21st century. And we're a quarter of the way through the century already. So it's amazing. And there's a lot of people that are looking to sabotage him every step of the way. Is this guy one of those guys? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not going to support some 30-year-old who came from nothing, who's got enough money to retire by 30. He's running for governor, never held office, and he's telling us everything we want to hear. That's what the Democrats did. That's what happened with Obama. That's why I always am cautious of Vivek Ramaswamy. Never heard of the guy, and then all of a sudden he's on TV all the time. He's running for president. He's speaking everywhere. A lot of these guys, they buy their way in. And Byron Donalds, who not only has the president's endorsement, he's got a tough primary fight already with 6. I think it's 6 people he's running against, and this will be 7, or will he be 6? It's a lot of guys in the Republican primary for the governor's race. And I promise you, multiple guys running are Bush people. The Bush family still has a lot of juice in Florida. And I know this. Byron Donalds is a big threat to them. He's not just MAGA, and we know he is. He's black MAGA. That terrifies them because Byron Donalds could go from the House to the governor's mansion to the White House as president or vice president down the road, or maybe the Senate forever. So he is a clear and present danger to the Democrats because he's black MAGA. They hate black MAGA more than any other kind of MAGA, okay? Now, it is Thanksgiving this week. You know, people make these resolutions to lose weight. You can make that losing weight resolution come true before New Year's gets here by calling Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm going to give you their number. It works. I've lost over 35 pounds without exercise, without starving myself, without any pills or injections. Have you seen Michelle Obama? Everyone's saying she's on Ozempic or something. Does she look good? No. She's too skinny. She looks sick. You want to look good. You want to look natural. You don't want everybody telling you look like Michelle Obama, right? Coastal Weight Loss Secret, it does work. I ate foods I would normally eat. I've kept the weight off without effort. Give them a call and schedule your free no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, we've got 1 hour to go. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane joining us next. Back after this. Okay. Hello? Hey.
Hello?
Hey, all right. You there?
I'm here. Take the lead.
All right. Well, okay, we got some calls, and I got the, I want to recap. I got the latest opinion or approval rating for Trump.
Take the lead.
All right. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. Hold on. Okay. We'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, we got 2 minutes. Actually, less than 2 minutes.
You think this impeachment thing's going to come off?
I don't know what you're talking about. You have to tell me.
Well, I'm talking about I'm talking about the court martial.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll talk. Okay, hold on. Can't find my copy. Darn it. Okay, less than a minute. Can't find my commercial copy.
What's the sponsor?
Hold on. I just need the phone number.
Wings Plus?
No. My list of phone numbers. I can't believe. I have to find it as we go. Okay, found it. Okay. No? Shoot. All right, welcome back. The final hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning, Mr. Craig. How are you doing this morning?
Me. All right. I was telling everybody we have not decided what we're doing Thanksgiving weekend. I'm going to kind of decide I don't know. Today or tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to be on the air or not. I don't know.
Be sure to let me know.
You told me you're not going to work on Thanksgiving. So I'd be flying solo.
I'm trying to work it out, but I got a fight on my hands here with my producer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just the reason it's hard for me to take a day off because President Trump never takes a day off, and he's working 18 hours a day, right?
I know he's a busy man, no question of that.
So if President Trump is working so hard, if I take a day or two off, I feel guilty.
I feel more confused than ever with what's going on. Do you think they're going to go after this guy, Kelly?
Well, Senator Kelly. Not only is he in big trouble, Steve, he's freaking out. And but I wanted to I'll go over that with you. But I wanted to tell you, this is CNN. President Trump's latest approval rating is the highest approval rating of any president at this point in their second term in the 21st century.
This is CNN?
CNN, yeah. I played it earlier, so I'm going to tell you about it. And I want to keep in mind, for those of you that say, oh, the 21st century, well, we're a quarter of the way into the century, right? So we're pretty deep in, okay? By this time in the last century, the First World War had been won and over, and we're moving towards the second one already, right? Among Republicans, President Trump's approval rating is 87%. 87% approval rating among Republicans.
That's incredible.
Yeah, there's only been two other presidents that have had 2 terms in the 21st century, Bush and Obama.
The amazing thing about it is it's a CNN poll.
Yeah.
That's what makes it hard to believe.
Trump's approval rating at this point in his second term is 9 points higher than Obama and Bush. And Obama had a free ride because he was the first black president. His support is 9 points higher than Obama's at this point in his second term, and 9 points ahead of George W. Bush in his second term. And President George W. Bush had very high approval ratings because the war in Iraq was going pretty hardcore in his second term. So people rallied behind the president in wartime, and it was pretty rough. So this narrative that they've been trying to create with Marjorie Taylor Greene and these fake MAGA people, that MAGA is turning against President Trump, not only is his approval rating among Republicans at 87%, it's the same number it was 6 months ago. He was 87% 6 months ago, and he's at 87% approval rating 6 months later as of yesterday. That's according to the Clinton News Network, CNN, right?
Well, according to the way you see it, when do you think they're going to make their move on Kelly?
Well, that one is okay. Now, Kelly is freaking out because what I told you last week, which you didn't believe, and people said, well, where have you heard that from? And you said it, and I told you, and now it's being backed up by everyone, including the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Because he is a full retirement naval officer, Kelly, he receives a full pension from the Navy. Right. He is still beholden to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, according to the War Department, according to the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. And Kelly is freaking out, okay?
Well, what do you think they're waiting for?
Well, it takes time. It takes more than 10 minutes. This just came out yesterday.
Because everything you're saying adds up to a solid case against Kelly, and granting all these things are true, I'm trying to figure out why
we don't know.
Decides the guy most of the time.
We don't know if or when it's going to happen, but we know this. Senator Kelly is freaking out and afraid it's going to happen. He did a few things yesterday. The first thing he did when Pete Hegseth came out and said that he's subject for recall and they're looking into recalling him and court-martialing him, the first thing, did you see what Kelly's first action was in response to that? Oh, it was he took a photograph of his dress uniform with all of his medals and ribbons and posted a photograph of it on social media, right? So, and he has more ribbons and medals than a general of the Soviet Union in those old parades.
This is Kelly?
Kelly took a picture of all of his medals and his uniform and posted it on social media, declaring himself a military hero.
Then, well, it sounds like he's ready for battle.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's scared to death. And then last night, he went on Rachel Maddow's show and went through all the heroic acts that he did during his time in the service. From dodging rockets to flying rockets and all this crap. You know, I've never heard of anything like this. I mean, he is...
Sounds like he's freaked. From the way you're describing it, I get the impression he was freaked out.
Yeah, he's scared. And then Colonel Vindman came out and said he's willing to come out of retirement to defend him in the court-martial.
My favorite.
Yeah, Colonel Vindman, who's probably a Russian spy. You know, he was born in the Soviet Union, Colonel Vindman, in Ukraine, but it was part of the Soviet Union at the time. So his parents were raised in the Soviet Union. But so Vindman's defending him and says he'll come out of retirement and defend him in the court-martial. So whether or not it's going to happen, we don't know. It's probably less likely than likely to happen, but Senator Kelly is afraid it's going to happen because he's spending too much time telling everybody what a hero he is. Have you ever seen somebody in the service show their medal? The only people I've seen show medals off like this are the stolen valor fake people that weren't really in the service. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So everything's going well. Everything's going well. I'm excited. Aren't you?
I'm a little confused, a little apprehensive.
Yeah, you know, don't be confused.
I mean, there's so much going on. It's when you look at the different towns. What's going on in Chicago? That's where I wonder if they're going to bring back the army to meet what's going on, the violence in Chicago.
Well, see, that's what Kelly and them were doing, right? Because they know that Trump's thinking of sending the army into Chicago. So they were telling the soldiers that are ordered to Chicago to disobey. That's who they were talking to. Everybody knows it. All right. Do you want to take some calls?
Sure.
All right. Let me give out the number. It's 888-465-2631. Toll free no matter where you're listening. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. The other thing, Steve, is out of all the Thanksgiving weeks I can remember in this business, I've never seen news like this during Thanksgiving. Because
it's bizarre.
It's usually just turkey shopping.
They usually slow down the events over the holidays and go to milder stuff, but not today.
And this Clinton judge in the Comey Letitia James case, that's not going to work out well for them.
No, I don't think so.
That's not going to work out well. They got a crooked judge. It's going to get appealed. It may have to go all the way to the Supremes, and they'll be back. You know what? A lot of what's going on with Comey. Letitia James just got lucky, right? She's on Comey doesn't care about her. She's not part of the club. What Comey and them are trying to do is just drag this out. And they figure, well, you know, if we drag this out 3.5 years, there'll be a new attorney general, Trump will be out of office, and then it'll be over. So they're just going to keep judge shopping to Democrat judges and try to drag it out. But I think we're going to get a quick appeal on it, don't you? There's no way.
It sounds that way to me. It sounds kind of open and shut.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, we're going to take our break, and I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, and everybody on hold. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back. Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, we have just over a minute. I'm gonna put you on hold, and then we're gonna talk tomorrow too, right? And then you'll be off.
Tomorrow.
Or will you not be able
sure.
to? Okay, all right. I'll put you on hold just for a minute. Okay. Steve, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to conference Barry in, and so stand by. All right, Barry, we have 30 seconds.
All right.
All right, here we go. All right, and now it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group 2 days before Thanksgiving. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
Doing well. Well, what do you have for us this Thanksgiving week?
Well, I can't believe that this week is already Thanksgiving.
No kidding.
So first of all, Brian, I want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving, and Steve and his family, and everyone in the audience as well. And, we hear about Thanksgiving, and then we hear about Black Friday and Cyber Saturday and doorbusters and all these things where you end up going to these stores. Sometimes you get things that you really need, whether it's an appliance or a mattress or things like that. But a lot of times it's just whatever you want to call it, junk or electronic gadgets or whatever. But really, if you think about what are some of the more important things that you can do with your money, and that would be taking care of your family, taking care of yourself. Yeah. And of course, we're a law firm that does estate planning, elder law, and probate. And so giving the gift to your family of having peace of mind, having protection, making sure that you don't leave a mess behind, that's what we offer at the Siegel Law Group. And if you've been listening, you know we have our own doorbusters, our own Black Friday deal as well, where we are giving Steve Kane listeners the opportunity to not only take care of this for themselves and their family, but to do it at a lower investment, and that is that $1,000 off for those of you who schedule your appointment within the month of November, meaning you can schedule it, you can actually come in anytime before the end of the year, but it needs to be on the books by the end of November, and then you come in by the end of the year, and you'll save $1,000 off any of our estate planning packages.
Okay, so yeah, let me restate that, because when people understand, and we're getting into Thanksgiving week, so law offices aren't open on Thanksgiving, but so you got to call soon. If you make your appointment with the Siegel Law Group for any time during the rest of 2025, but you call to make that appointment within the month of November, you save $1,000 off of the legal services. Do I have that right, Barry?
Yeah, and you made a good point, because we will be closed on Thursday and Friday, so really the last opportunities are today and tomorrow. Yeah, and let me tell you, if you already have an estate plan and it's 3 years of age or older, even if it was done by another law firm, the Siegel Law Group will look that over for you. And when somebody has an estate plan that's over 3 years old, Barry, and you review it, how often do you find one that does not have things properly set up or properly funded, where some probate or some other issue might come up? Actually, pretty often. We do find these issues that come up, like you just said, that they're not properly funded. There's language that should be in there that's missing. Yep. Or it's just something that the client themselves have an issue where they where they no longer want the particular person in that fiduciary role, or beneficiaries need to be changed.
That's right.
All of those kinds of things that we look at. There could be language that's missing in the healthcare surrogate. The HIPAA language, for example. There's all kinds of things that we look for when we do a review to make sure that the people have a proper estate plan that's going to work when they need it.
Absolutely.
And won't run into problems.
So listen, you've got today and tomorrow, and I'd recommend calling today. And Because you know how office workers get, Barry, on the day before Thanksgiving. The day ends a little earlier sometimes on the day before, but call the Siegel Law Group. Take advantage so you can save that $1,000 off your legal services. The number is 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. And Siegel is spelled Siegel. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll finish out the week tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right, take care. All right, you back with us, Steve?
I'm with you.
Okay, so things are going incredibly well. Oh, by the way, you're the one, you had all kinds of problems when Barry, that's how we met Barry, is he reviewed your trust, and it was a trust in name only. It was totally useless, until he reviewed it, and it saved your family. It wouldn't have bothered you. You'd have been dead, but your family would have been a mess. If Barry had not reviewed your trust, Steve, and updated it, your family would be in big trouble. Big trouble.
Because my last lawyer had totally, it was somebody you would know in the talk world, but
yes.
He totally messed things up.
I asked Barry a couple weeks ago, when people have to go through probate, right, and the family doesn't have money to pay a lawyer, what happens? He says that sometimes they take out loans. Can you imagine? That's a mess. Isn't that sad? You can avoid all that. All right, anyway, back to this. So things are going incredibly well. I was talking, Steve, we've got this new guy who may be a bush plant running against Byron Donalds for governor of Florida that I got my eye on. The Bush family, it leaked out a couple weeks ago that the Bush family are making a move to take back control of the Republican Party from Trump after this term. They don't believe he's going to run again in 2028 like we do, Steve, but they're trying to cause all kinds of mayhem. And if you watch, like there's one story, they're trying to get J.D. Vance is the front runner after Trump, no doubt. And there's some new polls showing that he has over 80% support among MAGA Republicans to be the second MAGA president after President Trump.
Pretty popular.
Yeah, I mean, he is. And, he's got a great American success story, right? A hillbilly. I read his book, and I told you to get the movie, Hillbilly Elegy, that Ron Howard made. Glenn Close plays his grandmother that raised him. It's very good. And the guy that plays him is pretty famous, too. I just can't remember his name. But they're trying to destroy J.D. Vance's reputation. And they're trying to say that he's got marital troubles and he's having an affair with Charlie Kirk's wife. And his wife was seen somewhere without her wedding band on. So they're saying, there's.
By the way, speaking of the wife, there's a rumor in the paper today that she's pregnant.
Who? Oh, Charlie Kirk's wife?
Yes.
I don't know if I believe that story. I've heard that. She's wearing tight leather pants all the time. If she was pregnant, would she be wearing tight leather pants? That's not good for the baby.
Well, she's obviously in the early stage. If it's true.
No, but this is what they're doing, Steve. This is what they're doing. See, this is part of what I was just telling you. Okay. Charlie Kirk's been dead September, October, November. Right? They're trying to imply that she's pregnant by another man, not Charlie. If she was impregnated by Charlie, unless he got her pregnant the morning of his assassination by that never-Trumper, she'd be showing, right? So
the impression I got listening, reading the Post this morning.
No, they're trying to. They've been trying to create a narrative that Charlie Kirk's widow and J.D. Vance are having an affair. Okay, and this is part of that story. Okay, the first thing a couple weeks ago, J.D. Vance was at that Turning Point event, and she gave him a hug, okay? And she gave him a big hug. So they were saying, they started immediately saying, well, that's not just a normal hug, that's an intimate hug, because she put her hand on the back of his head during the hug. Then they had a story earlier, a few days ago, or maybe it was yesterday I saw it, that J.D. Vance's wife they've been going with that story for a while. In fact, over the weekend, Megyn Kelly even asked her about it. when she interviewed her at a Turning Point event about the hug with JD. So they've been getting that narrative going. Then there was a photo with JD's wife without her wedding ring on, which I don't have my wedding ring on now. I don't always wear my wedding ring, you know. I didn't wear it for a long time because I outgrew it before I lost all this weight from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. So it was too tight, but it fits well now. But I don't wear it. I wear it if I'm going out somewhere or something, but I don't always wear it. But they got a picture with her with JD Vance's wife without the wedding ring, which they're saying that symbolizes marital trouble over the hug with Charlie Kirk's widow. And now this thing that she's pregnant, they're implying that JD impregnated her. That's what that's all about. So what they're doing is they're doing a preemptive slander work job against JD, assuming he's going to be running for president after these people. You think they're going to you think the Bush family are just okay? We're out of power now. We're retired. I don't think so. So no,
well, I'd like to believe more. I'd like to believe in the Bush family.
You can't trust the Bush family.
There was a time when I trusted them.
Not anymore. So if she's pregnant, right? Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th. So that would be all of September, all of October, and today's November 20, all of November. She'd have to be at least 3 months pregnant. Right? More maybe even. Yeah, she would be showing right now. So this nonsense they're doing that she's pregnant. If she's pregnant, she's wearing tight leather pants all over the place. She's not showing. She would have to have gotten impregnated after Charlie's death. Don't you see what they're doing? It's the same people that killed Charlie Kirk are behind that video, and now they're trying to destroy Erica Kirk's reputation. Okay, they're trying to destroy Turning Point. They're trying to destroy Turning Point. There's no if she was pregnant by Charlie, she'd be showing by now, wouldn't she? Ladies,
different women carry it differently.
Pregnant women don't wear tight leather pants. That's you can terminate a pregnancy that way. No, she wouldn't be wearing no. It's what they're doing is disgusting. And
I'm sure we've got opinions in our audience. That's for sure.
We do. Now since I mentioned it, hold on, Steve, all my copy is all mixed up here today. But since I mentioned it about losing weight, Thanksgiving, everyone's going to be pigging out, right? And people make New Year's resolutions. Don't wait for New Year's to lose weight. Start right after Thanksgiving, okay? You want to look good for your Christmas party? You want to look good for your Christmas party or maybe your family event where you're seeing people you see once a year, every 5 years, 10 years, or maybe you haven't seen in 20 or more years. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Coastal Weight Loss Secret, it works, guys. It works. I can't wait to see people that I haven't seen since last year in my family. That I'm going to be the one that's thinner than last year when everybody else has gained weight. Because I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret in January, the Monday after the inauguration of the president. And I've lost over 35 pounds. Have you seen Michelle Obama with this weight loss she's gone through, Steve?
No.
Okay, now Michelle Obama is an unattractive woman no matter what, but she looks like Karen Carpenter now. She's lost, and everybody's saying she's on Ozempic. You don't want to look like that. It's like when you get a facelift. You don't want people to say, oh, you've had a facelift. You want to look, like Martha McCallum on Fox has had a facelift and a necklace. She looks great. You can't tell she had surgery. You know what I mean? And the same goes with weight loss. You want to look good. You want to look natural. You don't want that Ozempic look. I lost all this weight without any shots, no injections, no pills, nothing, right? Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and lose all that weight you're going to gain over Thanksgiving before your holiday events, okay? No matter where you're located in the United States, they can help you. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, okay, for the bottom. I'll be back with you. Okay, hold on.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You can call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. All right, we'll be back in a moment. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, we got less than a minute. Hold on, we got some breaking news, I think. Hold on.
Oh, that would be nice.
Let me check. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian Craig. Our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right, are you back with us, Steve?
I'm with you.
Okay, I got some breaking news. It's being reported by The Hill, which, by the way, is a very good online news source. The Hill. If you guys don't follow The Hill, you should. They're very good. They're reporting that Ukraine has agreed to the U.S. Marco Rubio, Donald Trump peace proposal, most of it. So maybe we'll have a Christmas peace with Russia and Ukraine. Wouldn't that be something? That would be pretty good.
Has it been confirmed?
No, well, The Hill's reporting it that there was, I guess, a 19-point plan. That there was the Russian plan the other day. And then Trump and Marco came out with this 19-point plan, which I'm not sure of all the differences in it, whatever that is. And and it's being reported by The Hill that Ukraine has agreed to the core of that plan, whatever that means. So I mean, we could have a peace by the end of the year. You know, it's going really. You know what Trump's doing? He's financially breaking Russia by starving them out from the oil money. He got India to stop buying oil from them. And I bet you he's gotten China to slow down the buying of oil, too.
Well, he's having trouble getting everybody to sign on to that plan. That's been the most recent problem.
Ukraine cannot win. They've got to agree. I don't know how much land they're going to have to give to Russia, but it's the way it is. I mean, what are you going to do? Have everybody dead?
It looks like it's over, yeah.
I mean, I don't know who they have left fighting. The Russians, it's so bad they've lost so many troops in Russia that this has been going on for a year. They have North Koreans fighting for the Russians. You know, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. I mean, thousands are dying. And all these people that are saying, oh, they should fight to the end. It's easy for you to say, living in the city of Sunrise and Tamarack, you know. It's easy to say. I love all these generals in Coral Springs and Boca that are like, fight to the end. Yeah, well, you know.
Good point.
Yeah. All right, let me take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from California.
Michael in California. What say you?
What's that?
What's on your mind?
I was just wondering how Trump is as popular as ever when he's, I think, at negative 36. And also, I fucked your mom.
Oh, that's nice. Isn't that nice? I appreciate that. Yeah, we've got nice people out there, Steve, don't we? I mean, we've got some nice people out there, Steve, don't we? Are you back with me, Steve? All right, hold on. Let me put everybody on hold there. Hold on. All right, Steve, you back with us? Okay. Oh my goodness. I want to explain this thing with Trump's approval rating at 87%. That's among Republicans. It doesn't matter what Democrats think of President Trump. So you could do a poll that has Trump in the negative or a much lower number that include Democrats are never going to support him or anyone he endorses. So it doesn't matter what Democrats think. When you're doing a poll, it only matters what the people think that will vote and support for that person or their endorsed candidates. So anyone who tells you that this 87% approval rating that the president has from CNN doesn't matter. There's this other poll. This is a poll of Republicans, and those are the only people that matter when you're polling President Trump. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll free call no matter where you're listening. I wanted to tell everybody, Steve, about Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, and those of you that are regular listeners, I don't know if you've noticed over the years, we tend to talk about Wings Plus closer to the end of the show because every time we talk about Wings Plus, I get hungry. And my mouth starts, and I know this, I don't know what they call these kind of memories, but I can, even mentioning it, I can smell the wings right now.
Sense memory.
Other than the lemon pepper, what do you get, Steve, when you go to Wings Plus?
I get the wings. I love the soups. They have great homemade soups. Clam chowder out of this world. Everything is homemade. Nothing is out of a can. And it's just a great place to watch the bowl games. We're coming into that football-intensive time of year where the bowls are all going to be going, and the NFL plays for what's going to be the playoff period coming up.
Yep.
So it's a great way to go with Wings Plus because you order before the game starts, you put in your order, and you go over and pick it up at halftime. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wait. There's no waiting, no nothing. And it'll make you the hit of any party you throw. If the food is by Wings Plus, you're going to have a big smile on your face, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and a couple things about Wings Plus, and I'm going to give you the location and the phone number if you want to call. Everything is homemade, including the sauces on all the wings. Everything is homemade. The soup's homemade. The chili's homemade. The wing sauces are homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. And the other thing, Steve, I've always been a wings guy. I found Wings Plus before you did, and I said you got to eat here. The wings are filled with chicken. Other places they don't have too much chicken. It's a lot of breading and other things to make you think you're eating chicken, and you're just eating what I mean. The bread, like Wings Plus. I don't know what the word to describe it. They're full of chicken. The wings at Wings Plus, but there's no disguising it with breading like these other places do. And you know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wings Plus is located in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. And if you want to call ahead, the number is 954-752-4460. 954-752-4460. That's 954-752-4460. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian, what's up?
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you? I'm curious, Brian, were you one of the first people to break the story that Senator Kelly might be in a little trouble with his military background?
Last week, yeah, and Steve gave me a hard time about it. He says, well, you said nobody else is reporting this. Where are you getting that from, Brian? I said, well, I read up on it. I looked at, yes.
Well, I did not hear it any other place until I heard you mentioned it on the radio show. That was great insight, Brian. That was a terrific call.
Well, and I'll tell you another thing. I'll tell you another thing, too. It's wintertime. Yeah. That means the president and his team are at Mar-a-Lago this time of year, so you never know who's listening.
Well, that's right. I mean, if they heard that you live on the radio doing that, they're going to say, "Wow, who is this guy on the Steve Kane show?"
They already know. They already know. Okay, they don't have to ask.
I know they do. You and Steve are hallmarks here in Florida, and I think actually globally now.
Yes.
How does a sitting senator, a lawmaker, a guy who's been in the Senate for quite a while, has a military background? He has no clue that he's actually considered part of the military still, and that he could be grounded.
Yes. Why do you think he's putting pictures of all of his medals and ribbons all over the internet and going on Rachel Maddow telling you what he hear? I've dodged rockets and flown rockets, and all this crap.
This is one of our senatorial leaders, and he's realizing this after the fact.
Yeah.
He didn't think about this ahead of time.
Yeah, not too swift. Not too swift.
Not too swift at all. I mean, is this a good example of not too great leadership? I think he's on the hook. I think they got him, and I don't think he's going to be the first one. I don't know what he was thinking about, but I don't know. That poll, 86% approval.
87.
87. I'm even surprised that CNN didn't try and find an excuse not to broadcast that, not to show the numbers on that.
Nope. The thing about Kelly. Let me ask you this, guys. What do you think, Steve? We don't know if they're going to do it. Is it if they recall him to active duty to investigate him, that would cause that everybody would freak out. The whole country would stop. Is it worth it for Trump to do that?
Especially since he has other storylines running during this vacation period. He's got the Venezuela thing, which he's trying to focus on, and his plate is awfully full. So he's got a lot of, he's running a public relations company over there.
Yeah.
So he's got to decide what he wants to feature and what he wants to prepare the American public for. So it's a complex deal from a public relations point of view.
But how about the people that were above Senator Kelly when he was in the military, like General Miley, the head of the Joint Chiefs, talking with these counterparts?
Well, what I mean,
China,
listen, if they the only time I remember court-martials getting a lot of publicity, there was when Bill Clinton was president. There was a couple of high-profile. One was of a sailor, enlisted man, who violated the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell." You know what I mean? He was like gay, and there was a if they recall a sitting United States senator to the Navy, and then investigate him, that would be the whole. Not only would the whole country and media stop and revolve around it,
which is probably why it's taking so long.
Is it worth the Trump administration to do that? Wouldn't it stop the works of everything in the media in Washington? It would be their whole midterm election strategy. And and then if he didn't get, and then if we lost the case and he came out acquitted, we're going. And I bet you the military justice system works faster than the civilian. We could go in. It seems very risky. There's still the officers that would be in charge of overseeing that would be probably at least captain and above, and admirals. And Pete Hegseth just recalled all the generals and admirals and reprimanded them a couple weeks ago. And you could get an acquittal of him, and it would. I don't know. Maybe it's too risky to recall and charge him. There's too many wokesters in the military.
Is it possible there's a bigger story behind this that hasn't broken yet?
I know that Kelly looked scared on Rachel Maddow last night.
Yes, he does. I think that I think there's a bigger story here. More people involved, more things going on.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it past Trump to push this.
Well, listen, we got to run for the gold report, so I'm gonna let you go. But Steve, I'm gonna put you and everybody on hold. Let me ask you this. Here we are, 2 days away from Thanksgiving. Are you in pain? Don't go to Thanksgiving in pain. Go see Dr. Philip Appleton. The consultation is free, and appointments are not necessary. And Dr. Appleton's open today and tomorrow. Go in today. If you're in pain, go see Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation and let Dr. Appleton explain and show you what his laser-away pain treatment can do for you. He's rid me of pain 7 times. And guys, I'm telling you, the pains he rid me of was not just stubbing toes. These were pains that were borderline disability, pains that would leave me in tears, pains that I just wanted to go to sleep and not suffer. And he rid me of all of these pains. And guess what? None of the pains have returned. Not one. Give him a call. Go to Thanksgiving dinner pain-free. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Hey, it's Brian. We have 1 minute. I'll put you on hold for a moment. Hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I am. I didn't miss the goal report, did I?
No, that's coming up next. I just got William on hold.
Okay, make sure you...
Yeah, I will. I'm going to conference him in just a couple seconds.
Sounds good.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to conference William in. All right, William, we have 25 seconds.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals looking very strong. A big rally yesterday on the precious metals as the Fed, about 80% consensus that the Fed will lower interest rates in December, is pushing the metals higher also. The dollar lower. The gold yesterday traded in a range of $4,040 to $4,141, $100 swing there, and closing near the highs at $4,134.10 the ounce, which was up $69.90 the ounce. Silver, a big gain also of $1.36, closing at $51.30. Platinum was up $31 at $1,546. And palladium gained $13 at $1,377. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,110 on the low, all the way up to $4,157. And right now, we're at $4,145 an ounce on gold, up $10.90. Silver's up another 25 cents at $51.55 the ounce. Platinum is up $11 at $1,557. And palladium is up $5 at $1,382. So the market's very strong, still holding well above those support levels and indicating that they certainly want to go higher, possibly for a nice Christmas rally.
Now, let me ask you, when we get close to the end of the year, a lot of the mints are starting to, a lot of the coins become in short supply because next year's coins are being made, right, by the mints. So
that's very true. Yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to some of the favorites in the gold and silver, what is available and what's not?
Pretty much, we have everything available. The markets have given us the opportunity to maintain our positions and make available just about all of the coins at the normal premiums, as opposed to some of the high premiums that we often see at the end of the year when the mints shut down and get ready to cross over their production to the new 2026 coinage. So that being said, the best buy on silver still remains the 90% silver coins at $2 for Steve Kane listeners, $2 below the price of silver. Excellent value there. And pretty much all of the gold coins are available at very reasonable premiums also. And of course, the pre-33 gold coinage is one of the best buys in the market that we've seen in ever, as far as I'm concerned.
Since 1933.
So that should be pre-1933 U.S. gold coins. The U.S. double eagles, the old $20 gold pieces, are one of the best values you can get with practically very little premium, in some cases less than even the 1 ounce gold eagles of modern issues. So that's something Steve Kane listeners should consider adding to their investment portfolio.
You know, the pre-33 gold, that's amazing. The two that you were talking about, pre-33 gold coins and the 90% silver, at these prices, this is unheard of low prices for both of these. And those of you that are regularly into the metals, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And those are two of my favorites, you know, because my grandfather, he had those coins that he used to walk around, the $20 coins. They said in 1933 with a 20-ounce gold coin, you could buy a man's suit. What can you buy with one today, right? A lot.
Yep, a lot.
A lot. All right. Listen, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And find both his phone number and address online at williamyoungerman.com. Open regular hours today and tomorrow, but closed Thursday and Friday, William?
That's correct.
Okay, guys.
Thursday and Friday.
All right, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Have a great time.
All right, take care. Take care. All right, you back with us, Steve?
I'm with you.
Yeah, are you into that pre-33 at all? Steve, jeez. You're old enough to be around when that was still around. I mean, that was in regular circulation. Oh, have you looked at those coins?
Yeah, no.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Listen, so many coins make great gifts for the holiday too.
That's right.
I always give the kids I don't give the kids gold. I give them silver because I'm not in your bracket yet.
Oh yes.
But I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm in the gold bar bracket. Yeah. No, but anyway, give him a call. All right, so this Thanksgiving week, I mean, this is astounding what's going on, because you look at the news. See, President Trump is working 18 to 19 hours a day, and I know a lot of people say he needs to take a rest. He's got so much to do, and usually during a Thanksgiving week, the news is dead. There's nothing to talk about. People are talking about, how to dress your turkey.
There's never a dull moment with the Donald. That's for sure.
They're talking about Black Friday, and all this stuff. And all you're hearing is political news, and the news cycle is moving as fast as it is like the week before a national election. I've never seen things happen so quickly in Washington. We've got this thing with Senator Kelly, who could be court-martialed. I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. Do you think it's worth them taking the risk? I mean, if they arrest...
I think you hit on the key word there, is risk. I mean, there's no question. No matter how it would turn out, there's still a major risk that I don't know if it's possible to outweigh the risk.
See, because of his rank, if he were court-martialed, the jury would be people that are at least captain and above, right? So, and the judge would be at least a captain or an admiral.
But there's no way of telling how the the emotions of the jury is going to
exactly. It's an
come out
unknown.
on it.
They could be for all you know, there's going to be a transgendered captain on the jury or a transgendered admiral as the judge that's pissed off at Trump. The military is still filled with wokesters. Okay, so it's I think it's well. I'll support whatever they do, and they know what's best because they know the players more than we do. But to me, it seems like a gamble that I don't know if it's worth it, because if they recall him, and then
well, I mean, the language is important. It doesn't look like a gamble. It is a tremendous gamble.
And is it worth the risk?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Because if it goes well, it's one way, but if it goes the wrong way,
devastating.
Yeah, it could
because
be real trouble.
It would embolden the forces of evil, right?
But I'm sure they weighed all this stuff in advance. I doubt that they're first tackling this problem now. I'm sure they've got an end game in their mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to imagine what it is.
You know, and I'll tell you, this thing with Comey and Letitia, that Clinton judge made a big mistake. Okay, you know.
Well, they're going to get that decision is going to be reversed.
Yeah, and the mistake they made is, both of them are clearly guilty of what they did, especially Letitia, because these are mortgages and there's so much paperwork with the mortgage.
It's black and white.
Yeah. You know, and it looks like what it is. Corruption from the bench, you know. So you know, they let Comey and Letitia high five each other over Thanksgiving, but that is going to be reversed, and it's going to be worse on them because it's like we're talking about. You know, some things, are they worth the risk or not, right? So they got this victory. It's going to be reversed, and then the prosecution is going to be that much stronger because this corrupt judge. The future judges aren't going to want to be overturned and be labeled corrupt political hacks. You know, this Clinton judge, Clinton's been out for a long time. Some old lady on the verge of retirement. You know what I mean? She probably wants to get some fancy job she doesn't have to report to when she retires from the bench. You know, I've been talking a lot about Christmas gifts, right, with the audience. And this one may seem a bit unusual as a Christmas gift, but I don't think it is. I'm talking about the scans from Life Imaging FLA. You know, I talk about the peace of mind that I've gotten when I found out that I have no plaque or no blockage when I thought I did because of my cholesterol. But my wife, daughter, my mother, and my in-laws, they may even be more relieved than I am. Right? Because they've been worried about me for years. You know, you're going to have a heart attack, Brian. You're going to have a heart attack, Dad. You got to take care of it. Now we got peace of mind. But, you know, people like me go in and get peace of mind and find out that we've got no blockage, we've got no cancer. People go in there every day and find out they've got cancer. They're not symptomatic. They find out they've got blockage, that a heart attack is in their future real quick if they don't get it taken care of. You get peace of mind, but they're also saving lives. This makes a great Christmas gift, Life Imaging FLA. You know, you're going to give the gift of peace of mind, but you may give the gift of saving the life of a family member. You know, Life Imaging FLA, they offer free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements that's valued at $699. They have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. When you're over there, make sure you ask about the cancer screening too. I had both. It takes just a few minutes. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Again, that's pound 250 on your cell phone for Life Imaging FLA. All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. Those of you on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And I know there's going to be big developments today. Wouldn't that be beautiful if Trump ends the Russian-Ukraine war before Christmas? Oh, man. What a great Thanksgiving Day news story that'd be. Yeah. They're having trouble in Ukraine. I mean, they've lost.
They're in trouble. They've lost the war.
It's yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be honest, that's the status of it now.
That's right. Well, listen, that's it for us. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. That's crazy. All right, guys, take care. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And God bless Charlie Kirk. Don't believe those lies about his wife that they're spreading. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. All right, Steve, I'll call you later. All right, take care. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig. Take care. Oh, by the way, if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video. That helps a lot. And if you could take the link and share it on your socials, that'd be wonderful too. All right? See you later. Take care.